Winter wind whistles through the forests and skims the snowy fields of Geauga Park District. Strap on some snowshoes, launch a sled, or simply take a hike to experience Geauga County's seasonal beauty. Winter adventures begin at geaugaparkdistrict.org.
Thanks, folks. Usually I just wing it, but I put some words down, so I apologize for having to read this. But all the people in this room have one thing in common, and that's we've all embraced the place in which we've chosen to live, to work, to do business, to raise our kids, and for some of us, all the above. Because of that, all gathered here in this evening have, in some way, shape, or form, made this transformation possible. The idea to renovate our weight room started about this time last year, and in a few short months became a real possibility. I met with Terry. Terry, where are you at? I remember meeting with you over there. It was in February 7th, and from there, the ball started rolling. 25 years ago, Chardon student athletes used what is now the storage closets up by the gymnasium. 12 years ago, when I got the head coaching job here, the school administration graciously allowed us to take over this space that essentially had become a catch-all for junk. At that time, it was a major upgrade, but as the program grew and success followed the kids, the number of kids that were tasked with training became nearly impossible given the lack of functionality and space of the outdated equipment and configuration. Now, it could be said that much of what exists in this school is outdated, so why become so passionate about a room that doesn't serve every kid? Well, the answer for that is simple, at least in my mind, and one that I have stated a lot over the course of the fundraising project. This is the one room in the entire school, in my opinion, that promotes controlled failure. Someone who doesn't understand kids might ask, why on earth would you want kids failing? And to that I say that we as parents, business owners, and leaders of our community need to find more opportunities for our kids to fail in controlled settings. As we all know here, failure is part of life, and the success we've all achieved here is a byproduct of overcoming trials and tribulations along the way. As more and more young people become risk adverse, we are witnessing a generation that is increasingly more fragile. And I see it daily on the front lines. We've created a system, in my opinion, that's rigged against kids. We've weaponized them with phones, where they are now spending an average of 50 hours a week on them. He was crying Sunday. And I'm not calling, I love it. You're in a position to fail. We've created a system that's rigged against kids, if you ask me. We've weaponized them with phones, the 50 hours a week. In fact, a typical training session for our student athletes in this room might be the longest they go awake when they are not cradling and swiping on their phones. We've seen the breakdown of families, the removal of faith. Music, movies, video games, and apps literally designed to steal our attention have made phones the most socially accepted addiction in the history of the world, if you ask me. I'm guessing it was hard to raise kids 30, 40, 50 years ago, and none of what I just said even existed back then. With that being said, the beauty of this room, like this, is that it promotes real relationships, unique memories that will be shared decades from now. The young people in this place offer zero opportunity to be fake, unlike the world they see on social media. You can either move a bar or you can't. You can't fake it down here. It amazes me that people who neglect the impact of extracurricular activities, and yet most business owners who I talk with identify extracurriculars as almost a prerequisite for getting hired. We as parents and leaders actually need to create more controlled environments where kids are uncomfortable for periods of time. Because we all know that we cannot shelter them forever, and it should be our mission to expose them to the lessons learned from this weight room and in sports in general. I'm almost done, I apologize. Isolating kids, living in comfort zones will not produce the desired outcome that we want in our young people. In a given year, one could argue that this room will serve more students than any other classroom in the entire district as the room is open year-round. I was thinking about this. It's probably the last time I'll wear a sport coat in here, but take a look at this new, beautiful flooring. Take a look around. I say this as not all classrooms' flooring collects blood, sweat, tears, and occasional vomit like the one you're standing on. After tonight, I'm not sure I would eat off the cheese tray in here. But tonight, let's celebrate the generosity of both time and money that has been poured in this room.